Guten Morgen, guten Tag, guten Abend, wie geht's? Ich bin Uncle Squinty here in the dank basement. I do not speak German, and that should be readily apparent. Well, this is a German product, and you don't have to speak German to enjoy this. It is a Schmalzler. Here's a little sidebar. On Snuff House, I read a post from a German contributor who says in Germany they have 3 different words for nasal snuff. The first one, which describes the Poschl Red Bull and like that, Alpina and so on, is Snuff. They also have something they call Snuff Tabak, which would be the rapés, the coarsely ground snuffs like the Taxi Red and so on, NTSU, and oral tobacco, which would be Snuff Tabak. And then they have Schmalzler. They would not say this is a Schmalzler Schnuff. It's just Schmalzler. Now, the word Schmalzler comes from the German word Schmalz, which means animal fat. And back long ago, they used to moisten the tobacco as part of the process of making the snuff, or the Schmalzler, with pork lard or chicken fat. And these days, of course, because of concerns over spoilage and so on, they use food-grade mineral oil to grease up the tobacco, for want of a better term. And Schmalzlers are characteristically very flavorful, usually quite sweet and smoky, and they are a bastard to keep up in your nose. They're very difficult to insufflate. In fact, it's tough to snuff a Schmalzler like you do a regular snuff. You can, but it requires an awful lot of effort. And so what many Schmalzler takers do is just take a large pinch and just use a finger to stuff it up there like you're picking out a booger, as we say in American English, or a bogey or boogie, as they say in England. So I'm going to take a little bit of this now. I promise you, this isn't going to be pretty. I should mention that in the bag, this Doppelaroma, which means double aroma, Doppelaroma sort of has a coffee and bananas smell, if that makes sense. In the nose, you get a lot more of the banana, the brown sugar, the smoke. It smells like breakfast. It's truly wonderful, but it is messy, as you can tell. And one thing I do have to warn you about is Schmalzlers will make your nose juice copiously. The back drip will be a lot. The forward drip will be even worse and cause what I call snotterfalls, because your nose will start running. This is not a tobacco product to use on a first date with someone with whom you want to have sex. It's messy. It's bad. But I tell you what pleasure. Really, really marvelous in the nose. On the Squinty scale, most Schmalzlers will rate very, very high. I don't like the Frescos, or the ones that are made with the Columbia fir tree oil. To me, that just sort of wrecks it. And yes, as you might expect, there are mentholated Schmalzlers out there. If it says Fresco in the name, that means it's got menthol. Fresco, fresh, cool. So, but this one, the Doppelaroma, has none of the menthol that I have come to equate with the name Poschl. Just doesn't have it. It's really, really good. Now, unfortunately, I bought this probably about a year ago, and I put it in my snuff cabinet. Of course, as I always do, if I can find it here, as I always do, I wrapped it in a Ziploc bag and put it in an airtight container. And even so, it's dried out just a little bit. Doesn't make it less pleasant in terms of aroma, but it isn't quite as moist or greasy as other Schmalzlers that I've tried fresh. Also, I have read, but I can't verify this, that the fresher the Schmalzler, the more of those fruity, chocolatey, sugary aromas you're going to get out of this. But even so, after a year, this is perfectly pleasant, and I really, really enjoy it. Okay, so how do you keep a Schmalzler fresh? This is a big bag. This is 100 grams, just under 4 ounces for my American friends. And that's an awful lot of tobacco to go through. So what the traditional method is to put it in one of these. This is a sorry. Hi. This is a Schmalzler flask made out of ceramic, glazed ceramic. It's kind of attractive, right? Very old worldly. Can you see that? I don't know if it's on camera. It's really rather attractive. Sealed with a cork. And what you do is you pop the cork. Now this has some Barnard Doppelaroma in it, double fermented. I should mention that Schmalzlers use a fermented tobacco. Tap a little out into your anatomical snuff box. I didn't get any out. Got to be careful because the mouth of this bottle is really rather large. And I've got snuff all over me. Excuse me, Schmalzler all over me. I don't like the anatomy. What the? You can't spoon this stuff really either unless you have a pretty big spoon. Anyway, bad demo there, right? I'm going to have to get out the vacuum cleaner. Anyway, I'm going to take another pinch of this. Nicotine, I would say moderate or medium on the nicotine, but you definitely get nicotine from this. Good nicotine, in fact. Very pleasant to use by the fire on a winter's evening, or if you don't have a fireplace, by the electric heater, or sitting next to the steam radiator, however you heat your place. The back drip and forward drip take a little while, but when they happen, they really happen. Excuse me just a second. Dust off my hanky here. A lot of extra snuff on that. Dry. All right. Yeah, in the nose, you get a lot more of the banana, brown sugar, smoke scent than you do coming out of the bag. It's perfectly lovely, and I think every snuff taker should try a Schmalzler, and fairly early in your snuff-taking adventure, because it is worth the effort, it's worth the snotterfalls, it's worth the back drip, it's worth the mess, just to get these aromas, which you can't really get anywhere else but from a Schmalzler. Now, if the big bag seems like way too much work and too much snuff and so on, there are other options, and I'm going to try to dig for one here in my mountain of snuff. Here's a very good example of a Schmalzler-based snuff. This is the Barnard's Magic Moments. I think that's what this is. If it's not, somebody will comment, I'm sure. And this is a Schmalzler, but a little bit easier to take because it's in a tap box. But again, the problem with tap boxes is they dry out. The snuff dries out very quickly in these. So if you're not going to use it right away, you're even going to want to decant this. Fortunately, these boxes are not difficult to pry apart. You can get at the snuff, or in this case the Schmalzler, very easily and put it in some kind of airtight container. And I would do that. On the Squinty scale, as I said, from 1 to 5, where 5 is wunderbar, this is wunderbar. You got to try this. From Poschl, the Doppelaroma Schmalzler. From the dank basement, getting ready to juice some black snot. This is your wicked Onkel Squinty. Thank you.